it's Sammy from Sammy's Sweet Life, and we are pillow chatting today. Before we get started, it is raining. It's been raining now for like 3 days, and today seems to be like monsoon, so I've got the ring light on. Hopefully the lighting is okay. I know the white balance is totally off because I am wearing an orange shirt. It's just making everything look really orange, but I wanted to show you guys my Halloween shirt. It says, "So I creep." It's a good TLC reference. So I've been checking out Amazon shirts here and there, and I just really liked this one. I just love TLC, so I thought it was a great one. We're not really here to chat about Halloween shirts. I really want to talk about PeloFondo. So that happened this last weekend. I had pledged to do 50. You guys know I had talked about I really would like to get more like 75. I just did not have it in me to do the 75, so I did 67 miles, and that was only thanks to a lot of encouragement. I have 2 friends that were encouraging me that second day, and then Johnny also was encouraging me. I got 50 the first day between 2 sessions, and I felt really good about that, and I was like, okay, I hit my 50, I can be done. But the next day I was a little bit ready to do some more, and I had friends pushing me to just go ahead and keep going, and I made it as far as I could make it, which was 67 miles. I feel really, really good about that. Now, I ended up thinking I would take a rest day or 2, and then yesterday I got hit with a migraine, so I'm going to be taking 4 rest days. The 2 regular rest days, the migraine day, and then today is like the migraine hangover day. Everything's still feeling sore and not quite right, so I'm hopefully going to be back on the bike again on Friday, the day you guys are actually seeing this. And I was doing something while I was on the bike. I could see on my little Conqueror virtual challenges, you can see your year amount of mileage. And I'm really annoyed because I was doing really good keeping track of my step count at the beginning of the year. Like the first few months, I was entering that in really consistently. And I messed up that year total amount. That year total amount says something like 1,400 miles, and I know that's not how many miles I've ridden, but because I was entering my steps into a different challenge, it showed the mileage for that. And I had started this year off with the Golden Triangle Challenge. I had finished the mileage on that before I started the current one that I'm on, which is the Estrada Real medal, and that messed up my total too. So I couldn't just see how many miles I put on that medal because I was putting miles on 2 different medals. So I decided to go back to the actual bike instead of trying to do math and taking out the steps amounts. And I wrote down, you can see on here, I wrote down the amounts. They're really, really sad. I will read them off to you. Some of the months are just like pathetic, like in the double digits. And 1 month, September, I had 0. I had ended up getting hit really bad. We got COVID in September, and we also traveled that month, and I just never ended up getting on the bike that whole month. I was surprised. I thought I had gotten a little bit that month, but it was nothing that month. So I'm gonna walk you down. January 27, February 29, March 11, April 167, May 89, June 137, July 148, August 87, September 0, and then so far in October, we're really close to the end. It's almost Halloween, but I have 125 for this month. So half of it was me just this weekend getting mileage. And that grand total added up to 820 miles. And so at the beginning of the year, I looked back at my mileage for 2022 and I was like, wow, I got 1,900 something miles, and I was so close to 2,000 miles. That's gonna be my goal for 2024. Well, all heck broke loose. Actually, about a year ago when I did get my little medical procedure, I totally got derailed. My recovery was a lot longer than I expected. I was having migraine issues as well. I never really recovered and got back to my full fitness amount after that situation. So I ended up already having pretty much 1,900 miles by October of last year. So I was thinking, of course, for 2024, I'm totally gonna hit that 2,000 miles. And looking at this number, I was kind of sad, honestly. I was like, wow, I didn't even hit 1,000 miles, which that's my new goal now, but that's a significant drop from the beginning of the year when I was like, I'm gonna hit 1,000 miles. And then you can see like my January and February and March numbers are terrible. The first whole part of the year was like migraine issues and various other things going on. And yeah, I just totally didn't even get close to that 2,000 mile mark. And so I was looking at that number, being pretty down about it, but I'm really, really trying to flip that script because 820 miles is awesome. By the end of the year, I'm hoping to hit 1,000 miles. So I will be in the quad digits, but it won't be anywhere near 2,000 miles. At this point, we've got 2 months left. I feel like it's a reasonable amount to make that 1,000 miles, but I'm just, on the one hand, really disappointed, didn't even get close to my goal, but on the other hand, I see that number and I was like, that's still 820 miles on the bike. That's still me putting in effort through migraine months, through sicknesses, through other things going on. That's still me overcoming those obstacles as much as I can and still putting in some effort. And I think 820 is pretty good. Like, not when you're comparing it to 2000, but when you're comparing it to, you know, if I had just given up, like let's say last October, I had the procedure, my recovery was long, and I just was like, what's the point, and gave up then. I would not have 820 miles. So that's a testament to me actually still putting in some work. I definitely could have done it better. I could have pushed harder, but I feel like that's still a really good amount, and I'm proud of that in some way. Still really disappointed, like still kind of kicking myself like, oh man, I could have done better than that. But I'm really pushing forward to next year, where I'm hoping to, whatever number I get this year, I hope to exceed that next year. And so I did the PeloFondo. It was the last one of the year. There's another one coming up in January, which I will try to participate in. I totally flamed out of the Powers On Challenge last time. I don't even know if I did a week 1 ride, honestly. It just wrapped up recently, but I'm committed to the next one that starts November 6th. I just really need that push, that kick in the pants during the holiday season to have something. I just need some sort of goal to keep me in it during the holiday season, because holidays are just crazy. That's when I definitely notice that my energy is used towards other things like holiday hustle and bustle. And I really want to make sure I'm still trying to get those rides in. I still want to get to the 1,000-mile mark. And yeah, it's I feel like a big accomplishment, but also low compared to last year. You know, I basically skipped the whole last quarter of the year and I was at 1,900 miles. Like, that's a lot. I was getting in the mileage. My goal, I think, for the next year, which I need to calculate out, I would love to be able to get the gold mileage medal every month. It's just like a medal that you get up on the Peloton bike, and it's when you hit 150 miles over the month. So if I did 150 miles every month, I'm going to calculate that out because I can't do math in my head like that. That would be 1,800 miles if I got the 150 every month, which I feel like is reasonable. That's about what I was getting most months last year. Totally flamed out at the end because of everything, but I'm going to really aim for that. I feel like that's a doable, like smaller chunk when you're seeing it versus like, I'm gonna hit 2,000 miles and that's a big, giant, lofty goal. Whereas if I say, oh, I'm just gonna get my 150 miles this month, that's a much more manageable chunk of something to concentrate on. So that's my mindset moving into it. I'm gonna really just try to hit that 150, and I'm gonna try to do that in November and December. Not so much for October. I still have 25 miles. I can't ride today. Like, all of my upper body is completely stiff and I'm still just kind of headachy after the migraine. So I'm not riding today. I hope to be back on tomorrow. And again, same kind of thing, just trying to do 30-minute rides most days. With all that like goals and talk out of the way, I do want to talk about the actual PeloFondo. I really had fun doing it. I did mostly Bradley Rose rides. I'll throw my stack up on the screen. I worked in 3 sessions, so I woke up really early on Saturday morning. I knew we had 2 birthday parties to go to back to back, and then she had a practice on Sunday as well. So it was just, we knew there were going to be kids activities, so I worked around that. I got a big session in the beginning of the day. I worked as long as humanly possible. I was feeling really good at that first initial session and like getting tired, yes, but I could have kept going had we not had kids stuff to do. So I had to go ahead and end it. I waited till the last possible second so I could just shower really quick, put on some makeup and throw on some clothes, and then head to where we needed to go. And then I did a session after the kids went to bed as well and got my 50 miles. And we were outside at 2 birthday parties. It was hotter than Hades and it was just really miserable. I was still kind of residual sweating from the working out all morning. It was like a 2-hour time frame of me working out, so I was still kind of sweaty from that. And then I was in the sun for the next 2 birthday parties, which was like, I don't know, like 5 hours combined. And so I was just like drenched in sweat the rest of the day, and it was just miserable, like hot and sweaty and miserable. And by that end session, I was not really feeling like getting back on the bike, to be honest. I was just like, I want to lay in front of the freezer, cool myself down. But I did get back on the bike, finished my 50 miles that evening, and I was so tired. I just got in an Epsom salt bath. It was like a lukewarm bath with Epsom salt, and just soaked, and then got out of the bath, barely even like did my nighttime stuff, and hopped into the bed. I didn't even like go out and say anything to Johnny. He found me in the bed just passed out because I was so tired. My whole body was tired. And then Livy had a practice. She's got one competition coming up, so she's working on her solo really hard, and I'm super excited about it. But it means like we are really dedicated to those weekly practices, getting those practices in. So we were there bright and early getting her practice in, and I'm like sitting there like a zombie. Like, I'm so tired. I had the best night of my life because I just passed out and I slept all the way through the night. And I'm a person that like tosses and turns and wakes up a ton, but I just was zonked. I was so tired. I just passed out the whole night and just sat there like a zombie during her practice. So we went home, did a few things, had lunch, and after lunch I was like, okay, I'm gonna get back on this bike. I had friends encouraging me. Johnny was like, go ahead, do it, just get it done. And I got on the bike for one last session, pushed through as long as I could, and got the 67 miles. And after that one, I didn't feel nearly as bad. Like, I had just eaten a really nice lunch, I got my mileage in, and felt a lot better after that session than the session at the end of the Saturday night. I could just barely get out of the bath and make it to the bed and passed out. But then the rest of the day was fine. And then I don't have much to complain about as far as like recovery. I just get all my muscles are super depleted. I didn't have any sort of soreness whatsoever except the inner thigh muscles, those like teeny tiny groin muscles down both inner thighs. Those were the only things that were sore, and it wasn't like they were like achy breaky when I was walking. It was just like when I lifted up my legs for anything, like walking upstairs, that kind of thing, I could feel that they were sore, but it wasn't even really bad. Like, it wasn't like they were aching. I've had way worse soreness after strength classes and things, so it was not that bad. I'm on day 4 now, but the bad thing right now is the migraine. I ended up with a migraine yesterday. I think I ate something a little weird, and it's also like certain times of the month mess me up, and it's also like weird weather things going on. So lots of little things in combination that set me off this time, I think. But otherwise, I'm feeling great. I haven't had as much soreness as I expected to have. I stretched really good after all of my sessions, and I think that helps a lot. And I was calculating out, this was my 6th PeloFondo. I actually have done 7, but one of them was right after my surgery last October, and I did like 8 miles. So I don't count that one. I just scratched that one off my list, and this was my 6th. So I feel like that's pretty good. All of them, I'm pretty sure I hit 50 miles or above for. I did one 100-mile one, which that's another goal of mine for 2024. I would love to hit 100 miles on a PeloFondo again. I would love to make that like my regular thing, is hitting that 100 miles, but that would mean I would have to be a lot fitter, a lot more dedicated to riding on the bike to be able to get that. It's all the notes I have as far as the PeloFondo goes. I'm just really excited that I got on the bike, did it. I'm excited to see 800+ miles on the yearly tracker because I don't know, I really had a feeling it was going to be lower than that, but it's also lower than I wanted. So it's just one of those mixed bag things where I'm like, on one hand, I'm proud of it, and on one hand, it sucks. I really wish it would have been better, but some of the months, honestly, I just haven't put enough effort into it. There are months legitimately that I had issues. So part of it is that, but part of it is just like the motivation. A part of it really just died a year ago. You know, I don't have as much of a motivation for it now as I did then. And I'm really trying to get back to that same mindset. And I think the PeloFondo really sparked that for me. You know, this is what I love doing. I really like fitness. I love the way it makes me feel. I was just on top of the world after completing it, and I want to continue with that feeling of it. I want it to be something that I want to do, I get to do. I want it to be that thing where I'm first of all caring for my body, but I'm also seeing what my body is capable of. And that's so hard as somebody with a chronic illness when I am not in charge of my body. Like yesterday was proof. I'm not completely in charge of my body because I can do all the right things, get all the right sleep, and eat the right things, and I will still get migraines. That's just part of my DNA. I'm gonna still suffer with those, and I have to come to grips with that part of it where, you know, what I can control, how many times I can get on the bike, I can. Otherwise, I have to let it go. I'm really trying to work on that part of it where I'm like, yes, I should be proud of what I'm doing. And it's definitely one of the things that Bradley Rose, one of the Peloton instructors, he's my favorite one of the things he has said in rides is this is a lifestyle, not a fad. Like, this is not something you do for a 30-day challenge and then you're done. Working out is a lifetime commitment. It's not just for 1 month. It's not just for 1 year while you're trying to get fit. It's a lifetime commitment. And I'm really trying to embrace that. And I feel like I have through this last year, especially. I had really bad migraine issues, especially moving into this year, and the surgery totally threw me off my game, really in that bad mindset, like, oh, I can't work out, it hurts too bad, and it's over at this point, you know, like my workout journey is over. Well, it's not, obviously. I still got 820 miles under my belt this year, and I should be more proud of it than I am. Honestly, I feel like I should be really proud of that accomplishment, and still I have that little part of me that's like, oh, it's not good enough. You know, I didn't put in enough effort. And there were months I didn't put in very good effort. There were months that it was really freaking hard to get that 11 miles, you know? I'm trying not to get like choked up about it, but it's really hard sometimes to just exist. Like when you have a chronic illness, sometimes it's hard to just exist. And I was really battling with that, especially the first half of the year. And I looked back at my tracker, I had one migraine the beginning of September. So I haven't had a migraine in over a month, which is huge for me, especially where we started this year out compared to where we are now. I've controlled as much of the things as I can reasonably control, and otherwise it's just what it is. And that's part of me, like, just embracing my workout stuff as a lifestyle. When I can't work out, I can't. When I can, I will try to put in the effort and make it happen. But I'm like thinking before yesterday during my rest days, I was like, okay, I need these dedicated rest days because I just did this amazing hard thing these last 2 days. I need that time to rest. And then I'm gonna get back up on the bike. Tuesday, day 2, I was like, all right, I'm itching to get back on the bike the next morning. Boom, migraine first thing in the morning. So I was totally derailed off my plan. And instead of pouting about it, I'm like, okay, fine. I'm gonna take my day today that's a migraine day. My next day will be a recovery day because I'm always just really sore. And then I'll get back on the bike the next day. And if that doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But I'm not gonna be upset about it, like fuming about it, where I think in the past, a lot of times I have been. I was like, I can't do it. And I really wanted it. It derailed my entire day. It derailed my workout plans. It just ruined my life. And getting that angry place about it. And this time I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go lay down. Johnny's got everything covered. It's all fine. I'll lay down for a couple of hours and then I'll do what I can around the house. And otherwise it's a YouTube day. You know, I'll edit some videos if I feel up to it, or I'm just gonna lay on the couch like the rest of the day and just embrace it. You know, that's what my body needs right now. And it's a lifestyle. So I'll get back to working out when I get back to working out, and I'm not gonna stress about it and make my situation feel worse than it is, you know, because it already effing sucks being sick. So I really took that mindset with it. And I'm happy that I did. I didn't feel so anxious or angry as I usually do. A lot of times, as soon as I start seeing that aura, I am flying off the rails, just super angry, like slamming certain things down. And like, of course, not around my kids. Olivia was at school, Stella was still sleeping, so I control myself around my kids. But when they're not around, I'm like slamming things and being pouty and just being angry. And I didn't do that this time. I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna go lay down. I'm still because I wanted to film videos and stuff yesterday, but it is what it is. And I really tried not to be so angry about it. And I think that helped. I think it just totally made the day a lot better. I still felt like crap one way or the other. You know, I still felt like crap, but at least I can like lay on the couch and enjoy some podcasts, or lay on the couch and watch some YouTube. I just embraced that part of it better than I have in the past. And that's not to say like I'm gonna be super happy-go-lucky every time I get a migraine, but I really tried to consciously make that effort this time to be like, okay, we're gonna see the bright side of this because it sucks and I could just make it worse by being grouchy about it. Anyway, long rant about that, but it's all to say, same thing as Bradley Rose says, like, it's a lifestyle. I'm gonna try to do the best with it that I can and not fret when I have 11 miles a month or 0 miles a month. I took a 6-day vacation in the middle of the month, in the middle of a school year. I took a lot of planning on the beginning half of that. It took a lot of planning afterwards, like getting things back on track, and it was just a lot. So I loved our vacation. It was really exciting, but yeah, the working out totally did not happen between having COVID and recovering from that and then vacation. That month was just a bust, and that's okay. That happens, that's life. I can't be like getting my mileage in every single day because it's not realistic. Even if I don't have a chronic condition, like that's not realistic to be able to hit it every single day. So I'm really trying to embrace that. It's a lifestyle thing. And I think this year I have done a good job at that, but I even feel like I could do better about my attitude around it. Just sitting down to make this video and being like, oh man, I didn't even get close to 2,000 miles and being pouty about it is so not what I want to do. I don't want to feel that way about me doing something which I feel like I did okay at. Like on the one hand, it could have been better. On the other hand, it's dang good how it is. So that's me like really trying to flip the script and convince myself that it's all good. like Pete the cat, it's all good. Anyway, there's my whole rambly spiel about working out, trying to be a lifestyle, not just this fad thing. Even though it's funny, I say that because I totally started all of this fitness thing a little under 3 years ago. December will be my workout anniversary, and I did it for a YouTube video. It was a life-changing YouTube video trying to try out the Apple Fitness Plus. I tried it out for 30 days, then I tried the Peloton app for 30 days, and that was a life-changing just challenge that I did for a video. So I have you guys to thank for even getting me started on this journey at all, because If I was not filming YouTube videos, I probably never would have challenged myself to try out something like that. I just wouldn't have. I just would have been like, oh, Apple Fitness is launching, maybe I'll dabble with it a little bit, but I knew I wanted to film that video and review it, and it really started something. So thank you. Thank you for being here and listening to me. Thanks for staying with me and letting me ramble about all things, because it was life-changing for me. So anyway, enough chit chat. We have a little bit of Peloton news. They have been doing this thing, and it really freaking irritates me because I want one of them. They are doing colorful bikes. They launched a few sneak peeks here and there on Instagram. There was like a lime green one, an aqua colored bike. They were gorgeous. It's like the base of the bike, it's black, is now a different color. It's like a powder coated different color, and they are gorgeous, and I want one. And they were showing sneak peeks of these, and then they showed a couple of them. I think it was like a Michigan. People are gonna ream me if I don't say the right one. I'll put it up on the screen in case I said the wrong name, but it's something Michigan, and people loved it. And they're working with more teams. They partnered with the NBA and the WNBA now. They were partnering with college teams, they being Peloton, the company. And they're having these like branded bikes, and they just launched these 3 special edition color bikes. It was just like a test run, and they launched 100 in each color. So it's a very small test run, and I freaking love. There was an ocean color. I'm throwing things up on the screen if I'm doing a good job being an editor. I freaking want a colorful bike. You guys know how much I freaking love color. I'm so irritated that I have a bike. I really wish I didn't have one just so I could get a colorful one, because there's no way in heck that we are paying for a new bike just because it's a pretty color. But I am just dying because they're so pretty. I want one. I want a aqua colored one. The ocean one is an aqua colored one. It would match my aqua wall in my workout room. I just freaking love the new color bikes, and I'm mad at them for doing it because now I want one so bad. So I'm thinking, my bike's not under warranty. What could go wrong if I figure out a way to paint me bike? So that's something I'm thinking about doing. I've got to see how you paint, because I think it's like powder coated metal. I'm pretty sure I could paint it. I know all of the pieces of the bike come apart, so I could take off certain pieces of the bike and paint them. I'm really thinking about it. I don't know if I'd need to go to like a car shop and be like, hey, can you paint this for me? I don't know how it would work out, but I'm definitely thinking about it, because there's no way I'm replacing my bike. I haven't actually researched this at all, so it's totally just an idea at this point, but I totally want to paint my bike because I'm not paying. First of all, the bikes are even more expensive because they are these special edition things. They're like $300 more than a regular bike. I already have a perfectly regular bike. The color is just so good. I just love that. I'm so glad they didn't have like a bright pink one, like a Barbie pink one, because then I would really want one even though it wouldn't match my room. I'm just so hooked on this color thing, and I'm really just thinking about it. I really want to paint part of my bike, and I think I'm going to do it. Really make a whole video out of it if I actually do it, but I'm thinking really hard about doing it. I painted a desk. I'm like, if I could paint a desk, I could paint a Peloton bike. So I'm thinking about it, and definitely it would be teal of some sort, aqua or teal. Oh, it's just so pretty. They had like a champagne-y colored galaxy type of color, and then they had red, which I don't care about red. Red is my least favorite color, and I really don't like even the red accents on my bike. So I was thinking like long time ago, I'm like, how can I paint this plastic red knob on my bike? And I'm like, oh, it's something you touch all the time. It's probably not a good thing to paint. So it would probably still keep the red knob, but the colorful bikes have black knobs. I would love to have had a black knob, not have an ugly red knob, but yeah, I'm not going to paint the knob. Definitely want to paint the base of the bike. I'm thinking about it. I think it could look really cool. Like, those pieces are pieces you do not use, don't physically touch very often, so I feel like it could be done. So if you have suggestions and advice for, yes, painting the bike, not trying to talk me out of it, like, yes, I think you could do it with XYZ, let me know down below, because I would love to paint it, at least maybe even just a piece of it. I would love it to be aqua and match my room. Leave your advice down below if you think you have a way or an idea about painting this bike, because I really want to do it. I think it's crazy, but it's already out of warranty, and like, it's just paint on a physical, like, outside piece of the bike, so I don't think it would damage anything. Yeah, I gotta think about logistics of it, but that's where my mind's going right now, seeing those colorful bikes. I'm like, dang it, I wish they had released these years ago so that I could have a colorful one. It's just too expensive of an item for me to like replace it just because I like the pretty color. Like, there's no way I would get my husband on board, first of all, but Even me, I'm like, that's crazy for me. I couldn't do it. More props to you if you can do it, but I can't do it. Anyway, that's all. I'm really close to 10K, so if you are watching this, please subscribe, hit that like button, join my Sammy Sweet Life crew, and follow me along. I'm gonna try my best to have another video for you guys every Friday throughout the remainder of the year, unless there's like, it falls on a holiday or something. I'm gonna really try to commit to finishing these off strong this year. Oh, last thing, before we get going, I held this up in the thumbnail because this is my little, it's actually a Hobonichi cousin cover, and I just loved it. It's called Dreamy Soda, again with the aqua. I loved it, and it's got the pink on the inside. Now I have been using this for my like sticker sneeze type planner where I play around with stickers and like make it all artsy and cutesy, and that's like what it looks like. It's really fun for me to play around with it, and I do some journaling in that book. But in the front I slipped this other little journal, and it is the same kind of crinkly Tomoe River paper planner, and this is what I've been using for my wellness planner. I told you guys I'm going to try for 2024 to commit to a wellness planner, and I didn't show you guys what I was actually using. All my like workout stickers fell out. They were in the little pack with me, but I've been using this to keep track of working out, and also like food logging here. You can see like this is my food log of the day. I'm writing all the stuff on the edges about how I'm feeling, body image stuff, food stuff, fitness level stuff, like all the things. I was tracking sleep. I was writing in my moods for the day. I'll flip through this on a video at some point, but this is what I'm using so far. And this one is only a 3-month planner because it does have daily pages, and it is like a slimline little book. So it's got daily pages, it's got weekly pages, it's got lots of notes pages in between. Like here's a set of notes pages in between the weekly spread, and then the daily stuff starts, and there's actually a note page right here as well. So I love this little book. I had reviewed this on my channel. This is from Hubman and Chub Girl, and it's their Tomoe River Paper Daily Quarterly Planner. And somebody did point out, like, you know, it's quarterly, you're gonna need 4 of them, and that would get expensive, and I totally agree. It's something I reviewed for this channel. I love the layout of it, but I personally don't want to have 4 individual planners for the year. So like I said, I want like one big chunky planner. So I knew even going into it that this was not going to be something I use for an entire year, but because it's quarterly, I can try it out, and it filled up the test run 3-month phase. I can do October, November, December in here, and then I can move into 2024 fresh with a new big giant year book. But I really like it. I love the, you know, it's the teal and pink combo that I'm obsessed with, and it's beautiful, and I love it. I love their like the way they do these vegan leather covers. They're really nice and flimsy, but they're also protective. It fit right in the front of my little book here. It just slips right in the front little pocket, and I love it. I've been using it all month long. I'm getting close to the end of the month, so I have used it for an entire month, and I will continue to use this one through the end of the year. And it was like my test run phase for using a wellness log in any capacity. You know, I'm tracking mood, I'm tracking my feelings, I'm tracking body image, weight, food logging, all of those things. Fitness talk as well. All of that goes in here. So I really like having a dedicated place for all of that stuff. It's been a concept that I toyed around with, and then this is me actually putting it into practice, and I really enjoy it. And I will continue with this throughout the end of the year and then move into my next one for 2024. But I wanted to talk about it because I had mentioned it in passing in my last Friday update, talking about planners, and I'm like, I'm using a different thing for this quarter and didn't go into specifics, but now you guys know it's in here, and this is my daily thing that I kind of carry around the house. It's usually in the living room, or if I'm in here, it comes in here, and I just, you know, I write in music quotes, I write in all the wellness stuff, I write in here journaling stuff, ideas, I do washi swatches, like whatever I've got going on goes in the back of this book. And then I play around with those weekly spreads like I showed you last week. Like here's last week. It's just stickery and brush lettery, and I just really enjoy having that little sticker place to play around with. Also, this Hobonichi one holds the pens. Like you're supposed to stick a pen through both of these loops and lock the thing closed. Well, I just use it as lots of pen holders, so I can get up to 5 pens in this like big chunky thing, because my little quarterly book has an elastic band as well, so I can get 2 pins, and then 1 in that elastic, which I just dropped one of the pens, but you guys get the idea. That's all I have to talk about. I hope you guys are well, and I will be back hopefully next Friday for another video. So I will catch you then. Have a great day, guys. Bye.